everybody, this is Blake Jennings, B&K Sports Lounge. Today I am going to break down the AFC North. I've done my top fives, now I'm doing my homework. Getting the AFC done, then I'm going to go into the NFC, breaking down divisions. I already gave you guys, big fantasy football guys, I gave you who my top players are at each position. Now let's go ahead and do the teams, because we all know this is a team game. There is no I in team. So, teams win championships, not players. So, anyways, worst team in the AFC North, the Cleveland Browns. Look, best case scenario, 6-10. Worst case scenario, 1-15. Look, they've got the third toughest schedule. Going off 2012, their opponents statistically had a 135 to 121 win record. So Cleveland, this is a quarterback-driven league. Cleveland does not have a quarterback, at least not one of note, not one worth talking about. Cleveland's going to struggle. Honestly, they could go 0-16. I was being generous when I said 1-15. I do believe that Cleveland is the worst team in the NFL going into next year. But then again, 6-10. Last year, they did have a top 10 defense. Their defense did keep them in games. They did get Richardson through the draft. Maybe Richardson could be that difference maker that gets them over the hump and start turning some of these close losses into some wins. Still, though, that's at best. Not a Cleveland fan. Don't see them doing much of anything next year. Maybe I definitely think they're going to be in the sweepstakes for the next big quarterback at that #1 pick. Cincinnati. I think that they are the second worst team in the AFC North, or the third best, whichever way you want to look at it. Best case scenario, 9-7. Worst case, 5-11. To me, it's going to be a sophomore slump season for Dalton and A.J. Green. Or, like I said, at best, they go 9-7. They win all the games that, kind of iffy, could go either way. But look, the way I look at it is, first year, you got lucky. Second year, you still got lucky. Third year, okay, you're good. But what I mean by that, basically, is that, honestly, going into last year, probably not a lot of people really expected much out of Andy Dalton and A.J. Green. They set the world on fire last year. They made names for themselves. They are looking like they could be the next generation, really just that duo that you cannot sleep on. I'm talking about last generation's Peyton Manning, Reggie Waynes, those type of connections. So, but still, best case 9-7, worst case 5-11. Next, Pittsburgh Steelers. Best case 11-5, worst 8-8. There's really not a whole lot of room for error for the Pittsburgh Steelers, basically because the Pittsburgh Steelers are a solid football team. They are, I would say, about statistically win-loss record, they're about as good as they were last year. My concern with the Pittsburgh Steelers is they are getting older, and their corners. They really need to do something at the cornerback position. So, I don't know. Pittsburgh, they're always a solid team. Mike Tomlin's always got those guys ready to play, but they're just not better than the Baltimore Ravens. I like the Baltimore Ravens. Best case 13-3, worst case 9-7, and the theme for the AFC North is this is Joe Flacco's year. This is Joe Flacco's year. For some odd reason, the guy's got a lot of haters. Every year, he's taking his team to the playoffs, deep into the playoffs. I mean, he's winning playoff games, and still, for whatever reason, he's getting no respect. Probably because he's not a big stat guy. He's not one of those guys who's just elusive. He's not like a Michael Vick or Cam Newton or maybe an RG3. Who knows? He's not the most fun to watch, but there are two people who get credit for their wins and losses in the NFL. The head coach and the quarterback. And there's no hidden secret behind it. Quarterbacks win championships. Quarterbacks win games. Okay? If this Trent Richardson guy is a big deal, there's a reason why he's still, there's a reason why the Cleveland Browns are still my worst team. Because Maurice Jones-Drew was really good last year. He led the league in rushing. But the Jaguars were horrendous. Adrian Peterson is a good football player. Again, they have no quarterback. The team was horrendous. This is a quarterback-driven league. I cannot stress that enough. You've seen that with the Cardinals tonight. Saints and Cardinals first preseason game. If you do not have a quarterback, you are not winning in this league. There is no substitute for it. None. I don't care how good your defense is. I don't care how good of a run game you have. This is a quarterback-driven league. Baltimore, I'm not going to sit here and say Joe Flacco is better than Big Ben, because Big Ben's Super Bowl rings speak for themselves. But this is Joe Flacco's time to shine. This is Joe Flacco saying, just like Eli Manning did this past year, I am a good quarterback. Going into last year, Eli Manning said he was a top 5 quarterback, and everybody, well, Eli Manning got no top 5 quarterback, and now every list I see he's a top 5 quarterback. It's time for Joe Flacco to do the exact same thing that Eli Manning did last year, prove what he's worth. Again, the theme of the AFC North, this is Cool Joe's year, rocking the stash. This is Blake Jennings, BK Sports Lounge, back at it again. Have a great rest of your weekend.